Okay, hello everyone. I am so pleased and excited to have with me here the founders of BravoCoin. I have Lorena Valencia and I have Adam Barlam with us. And hi both of you. Welcome. It's such an
Hey,
honor
Mina,
to
how's it
have
going?
you.
Hi, Mina. How are you?
Good. I'm well. We were just talking about how cold it is here, so I'm doing well in the cold. Yeah, how are you doing?
Not as cold as you, thank goodness.
Hmm.
But it's a little chilly down here in Arizona as well. But yeah, excited to join you today. I appreciate the flexibility, like I said, and yeah, just plugging away, working hard, trying to get to hardly working. It's
Yeah,
hard.
you are working hard. Lots going on with the Bravo coin. Very
Hmm.
exciting. Very
Yep.
exciting things you're doing. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, I recently joined the Bravo coin. It was Bitcoin Ben that had introduced it, and I've been on it and enjoying the app. Love to talk about what it is that this is all about, so our viewers can understand better. But first, tell me about yourselves. I'd love to just learn a little bit more about who you are and how you got here. What brings you right where you are today. Who wants to
Okay.
start?
Go ahead, Lori.
I'll start. Our story starts about 15, 16 years ago when I met Adam. Adam is very good friends with my best friend, and Adam has always been in the IT space. And I had a need for some IT services, and she recommended him, and got to know him. And he's become like my little brother. He's family, and so that's how we met here in Arizona. And I had a very traditional business that I started in 1999. I sold that in 2016. Retired for a little bit. I think I mentioned to you. Got super bored after about 6 months and decided that wanted to do something. And was excited about technology and some of the things I'd read and heard, and trying to export some of that technology into other countries and things like that. And so, of course, first person that came to top of mind was Adam, right? And who's brilliant, and couldn't think of anybody better to partner up with. And so we came up with a couple of concepts, and this was one of them. And that was almost 3 years ago. And it's been a labor of love ever since. And very proud of the work that we've done and the reception that users have given us. And we've got over 3,000 users around the world, and many of them making you know quite a bit now, just writing and rating reviews and earning for that. Things all over the world. I think we're in 45 different countries, and it's just exciting to see the impact that it's had already on some folks, especially in
Hmm.
countries like in Venezuela and Mexico and a lot of other places like that. So it's been fun. It's been hard. It's been incredibly rewarding, and yeah, it's hopefully greater things to come. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there will be. I have a feeling. It certainly is going really well, and just my experience on the app has been quite fun and exciting, and there seems to be a lot of excitement in the air. So
Yeah,
Adam,
thank
tell,
you.
tell us. Yes, you're welcome. So Adam, yeah, tell us about yourself. What brought you to where you are too?
So I've always been involved in technology, really involved in the open source and Linux community growing up. And then from there, kind of just transitioned into blockchain. I feel like blockchain was like a natural segue. I initially found out about Bitcoin and blockchain in 2011. I was working for a financial newsletter company, and they were putting out newsletters about like penny stocks and options and stuff like that. And I went into our meeting one day and I said, why don't we start covering this Bitcoin? It's gone from $6 to $36, and I think it would appeal to the same type of demographic that would appeal to our penny stock readers. And I got laughed out of the room like 3 meetings in a row. They said, we're not dealing with this funny internet money stuff. And that was kind of the end of it. And I kind of laugh a bit about it now, because had we talked about it and covered it and gotten into it back then, all those people in that meeting would most likely be retired by now. But unfortunately,
Mhm.
they didn't get into it, and they didn't listen. And now 6 years down the road, they're finally starting to cover it and get into it. So that was my first foray into blockchain and Bitcoin. But I
Mhm.
didn't really start getting involved in like trying it out until about 2013, when I was working at GoDaddy. So I worked at Intel for a number of years. I worked at GoDaddy for a number of years, and then I kind of transitioned off, and I linked up with Lorena, and we decided to create this platform. And it's actually an interesting story. So initially, we had developed this concept to be a review site for Spanish-speaking countries. And for about the first 6 to 8 months, that's the that's the idea that we went with, and we were building a centralized review system that was strictly for Spanish-speaking countries. And about 6 to 8 months into it, I called up Lorena one day. This was like late 2016, and I said, let's move this all to blockchain. And she had never heard of what blockchain was. And so I gave her like a little brief overview of how this was going to work, how we're going to do revenue sharing now, how this is going to be the ability for us to expand into other markets that previously we couldn't, get into. And I thought it was going to be a tough sell, but literally after like 15 minutes, she was like, let's do it, let's go. And, we transitioned and pivoted, and all of a sudden, it was initially going to be called Reseña, which is a review in Spanish. And we had Reseña and reseñas.com. And, right then and there we transitioned, and Reseña, moved into BravoCoin and became a blockchain-based review platform. So that was, that's kind of the backstory of how we got involved and moved over to blockchain.
Yeah, it's true. Adam thought it was going to be I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a lag. Yeah, Adam thought it was going to be a long battle, because we were very far down the road and had spent a lot of money already going down this centralized path. But I've told a few people, I'm like, when I found out that we could help other people around the world make money or get rewarded in some way because of our efforts, I found that really, really exciting. And making that impact for a lot of people, even if it's a small impact, or giving them that opportunity to earn a little extra, I thought was really, really something wonderful and something I wanted to be part of. So the minute he said that, I was like, that's it, I'm in.
Beautiful.
More. And that was what sold me.
What a great partnership. What a great relationship. And what a visionary you are, Adam, like to see that and to take that, like that's both of you, to be able to see that and be in it.
You see all these, all these companies that have been built strictly from users giving their data to them, or, just taking a heat of these free services like Yelp or Facebook or so on and so forth. And your data has literally created these multi-billion-dollar corporate behemoths that literally you're just giving your data away to for free, and they're monetizing and capitalizing on it, and they're abusing your privacy, at the same time, and you're not really getting compensated for it in any which way. So, we thought there had to be a better way, in order to be compensated and rewarded for this data you're providing. Goldman Sachs now says that data is more valuable than oil. And so why are we giving all this valuable data away for free?
And I think to in all fairness, I think when the concept first started, I think it was fair because I think the exchange was, hey, we need to have real inputs that we can give you the output that we all end up enjoying, right? I for one, used Yelp quite a bit. And so I think in the beginning it was fine. I think it was equitable. But I think now, technology is available that could help it become more equitable, right? And so that's what I think that we've been able to accomplish, is kind of build on a lot of the positive aspects of it, and then take that to another level.
Yeah, it's such an incredible idea, and to help the idea of even helping everybody out and to earn a passive income at the same time. But you're right. I mean, the data that we are giving to whoever is just it's in such a valuable amount that I agree with you. Like, for you to take this and do what you've done, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But tell us, explain a little bit about the Bravo app. So, I mean, there are people who might be watching this that may not fully understand. So just give a little description of your app.
Sure. So BravoCoin is reviews on blockchain. So users have the capabilities to review restaurants, hotels, services, even movies and video games. And then we have some crypto-centric categories as well. So you can review actual crypto projects, dApps, even exchanges that are out in the marketplace right now. And basically, depending upon the amount of interaction and engagement you get on your reviews, whether people are liking your review, whether you're writing reviews, dictates how much you actually earn on the platform. So the more you're involved in the platform, the more you're engaged, the more you're writing reviews, the more you're curating other reviews, dictates the amount of crypto that you're going to earn. You're going to earn BravoCoin as a result of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to use a couple of just quick kind of catchphrases. And we say that we help you turn your content into currency. Mm-hmm. And really help you monetize your ideas, your concepts, your tips, your opinions. And so we say, turn your opinions into millions. of crypto potentially, but eventually, hopefully that'll have some real tangible value at some point. And so it's really simple to use. Adam and I really are, I think, from a partnership standpoint, really blessed because he has a really deep knowledge on the tax side, and I say he always has the back and I have the front end. So every time we build something, I take a look at it, and it must pass my smell test, right? It's got to be easy to use, easy to understand, uncomplicated, because we're actually going after the typical general consumer. And so we're not looking at just people who understand crypto or who, necessarily, understand how to get on exchanges and all of that. So we're going for the average user, the average consumer. And so I think that what we've built looks pretty slick and, very familiar, and it's incredibly easy to use. So we're trying to drive the complexity out of the technology. It's actually quite complex. But it's very, very easy to use. You've used it. And yeah, we've got people that now are also enjoying a lot of the gamification that we've added, and a couple of other features that we have for vendors and things like that I know Adam will get into as well.
Yeah, touching upon Lorena's points. So one of the key issues that I saw, coming into this industry is that even for someone who's, pretty good with technology, I consider myself an advanced technologist. The applications and the, what's out in the space right now is very, very complex for the average user. I mean, even for someone like me, I've messed up before and I've lost keys or lost crypto before. So, and what's out there right now really doesn't appeal to the masses to get mass adoption, involved. For instance, like MetaMask and some of these other applications that are out, they're way too complex for the average user. I'm not going to be able to teach my parents how to use MetaMask, and load up Ethereum on there and then connect it into, a website that's connecting with my MetaMask. It's just too complex for them. There's too many moving parts. It's something that they're not really familiar with, that they haven't used before. And that was one of the, a key problem that I see, across the space, in a lot of different arenas, is that everything's too complex and that we need to really, get it down to a much more easy to use, basic kindergarten level for, for users, because that's what they're used to. They're used to their Facebook app. They're used to Instagram. They're used to their Yelp app. And that was our goal, was to create an easy to use platform that was a segue, from these existing platforms onto a new blockchain based platform where they don't even really know it's running on blockchain. It just needs to look and function the same. And then what's ever going on in the background is, is all gravy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I run a meetup, and having to explain all of this has been challenging, but it's forced me to go and learn and understand how to use MetaMask and all these things in Ether Delta. I remember using Ether Delta for the first time, and I thought, oh my God, this is absolutely insane. Like, I'm a newbie in the tech, so it was. I've learned so much since then. But there's no way you can teach, like you said, the grandmas or just anyone who isn't technically savvy, right? But it will come, and what you've done has made it very easy, user friendly. Like I use the app, and it's pretty simple to use actually, and self-explanatory. It's self-guided, right? So that was our goal, to make it user intuitive and so easy to use. And actually a little more than half our users right now have never used crypto before in their life. So I mean, I have friends and my parents are using it, and I can never teach my parents how to use MetaMask, but they use Yelp, they use Facebook, so it was a natural segue for them to pick up this app and get into it.
Yeah, and I think too, one of the things that I like too is that not everybody likes to write reviews, but most of us read reviews. In fact, they say 93% of people will read a review to about 10 before they make a purchasing decision. So, a lot of people don't like to write reviews, but the users on our platform who also curate, so they're liking the reviews, or people that are leaving tips or things like that, they're actually earning as well. And so there's a place for everyone, depending on what your abilities are, your likes are. And so, what I find really exciting is that a lot of people have heard about crypto. They kind of want to get in the game, but they're not sure how and when, and it feels a little scary to,
nervous to put up
input
their own
all
money.
your information. And exactly. And this is kind of like a soft introduction, because you're earning, cryptocurrency for something you probably would have done anyway. And so we are lowering that risk, but getting people into the crypto space, which is very
lowering
important.
that entry bar.
That's right.
And like Larry was saying, people are a lot more willing to put up their time than their own money and capital.
Worst case scenario.
Exactly. you lost 10 minutes writing a review. That's different than saying I threw $100 into Bitcoin and it's worth $20 now.
That feels different.
People are very concerned with, the volatile nature of crypto. And they don't see, you know, all they see are the major dips. They say, oh, Bitcoin was $20,000 2 years ago, and you know, they were $7,000. They don't know this, you know, the cyclical nature and the parabolic nature of it, in that it was $300, you know, 2 years before that. All they see is, you know, the crazy downturn that it had. And, you know, it's an easy method to get people to, you know, like I said, to put up their time rather than their capital. They're much more willing to do this. And that's an easy way to, you know, transition people into this ecosystem. Because, you know, you and I all know is that once you have one cryptocurrency, it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole, trade one for another, and then you start learning all about how this, you know, this entire ecosystem and this industry works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's proof of brain, right? And I love that idea that, you know, you have this, and that's how you say it in your website, proof of brain.
Yep.
So, I mean, I love it. It's that communal, like you say again, like it's communal, and bringing that on a global scale. It's amazing. And having that passive income at the same time really is. But having to know that there's some authenticity and it's genuine, you know, like that word of mouth, because that's how we live. We live by word of mouth. It's very powerful. It's a powerful way to live, and you've captured this in a digital, in this new digital age, which is a new wheel, a new age that we're going into. So, you know, to learn and understand this is just to be fresh with a new mind and learn it. But like you say, you're using it easily. You know, there's an ease to your app, and what a great way to come into it. So, very cool. Yeah.
You know, along those lines, let me just piggyback off something you just said. You know, capturing the voice of a consumer is incredibly powerful, and it's very lucrative in the right hands. Again, going back to the data conversation. But one of the things that really inspired Adam and I is that, you know, there are a lot of things that are positive about reviews, and there's some things that are negative. Over time, there's been a lot of contamination with people who have been inauthentic, right? And who have really injured other businesses with fake reviews. Correct. And so one of the things that I want to make sure that we shared with you is we created a proof of location device. I say we, I mean really Adam. Adam, the brainiac mad scientist. But he created a proof of location device that it's a software and hardware combination, and we obviously built the layers in between so that they speak seamlessly to one another, to help businesses prevent, you know, that whole issue with fake reviews, right? And really leverage real authentic reviews the way that they should be leveraged. I think that was the original intent, and really filter out and sift out, you know, all these other things that have been happening to people. And so, you know, we've got, I don't know, Adam, do you have it where you could show? Do you have it handy where you could show it? It's a little device. It's even smaller than that. That's just one of our devices.
Oh, cool.
And a vendor really would just plug it in, and it will detect when a user comes in. Obviously, that's opted in. When a user comes into a restaurant, let's just say has a radius of 300, a little north of 300 feet, and then that device will capture the fact that you were there. So when you write your review, whether it's a day, a week, or 2 months from now, your review will be verified. And, you know, that brings a dual value, not only to the vendor who wants to make sure that, hey, someone isn't, you know, writing a fake review or you know,
maliciously attacking my business.
Yeah, just, could be a competitor or something like that. But the other thing, for a user perspective, I don't want to have to sift and sort through all the potentially fake reviews either. So we, you know, for us to be able to provide verified reviews helps the entire community, which is really exciting for us. So I think we can't solve every problem out there with reviews, but I think we solved two of the big ones, right? Which we've got, you know, the lack of revenue sharing that existed, and technologies, blockchains giving us the ability to do that. And then this proof of location is helping us at least decrease some of the fake reviews. So I think those are two big things that separate us from, you know, other platforms and projects out there.
Those are two very big things. Did you want to add something, Adam? I didn't mean.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch upon the fake review issue. So, I mean, there's actually fake reviews are rampant. Whether you're on TripAdvisor, whether you're on Amazon, whether you're on Yelp. CNN came out with a story, I think about 2 months ago, that said that they estimate 1 out of every 6 reviews on TripAdvisor and Yelp are actually fake. So you think about it, 16% of reviews that you're reading are fake, and that's a huge issue. Whether it's whether it's a competitor that's leaving a malicious review for your business, or whether it's users who have never even been to your business that they're just leaving reviews anyway because they think it applies. Fake reviews are a huge problem, and it really detracts from revenue from this business. There's been studies that have been done. Harvard Business School did a study that every 1-star ranking you lose on your Yelp profile results in a 12% reduction in your overall business revenue. And I mean, that's huge. We rely so heavily on reviews that we need to ensure that the data is not manipulated as much as possible. And what better way to ensure that by providing that, by doing all this on blockchain.
That's so important. I mean, especially with social media and the marketing that is out there with just, social media can be anybody out there, talking about whatever they wish to. But for you to be able to make it, keep it more verified, I guess, if you want to use that word, it certainly helps to keep it more authentic. And it is really important because it can destroy a business, or it can damage, or it can, lead people in a direction that, or people who wish to manipulate or control an industry or a market. There's so many things like that, right? I can just imagine. So really important point, and a really important problem that that you're solving. We'll say solving, because I'm sure there's lots of fine tuning involved in all of this too.
And if I may add, I mean, another thing that I feel that we have really taken on, and I think that is maybe perhaps the biggest differentiator for us, is the fact that we're decentralized by virtue of being on blockchain. We're decentralized, and that in and of itself is incredibly powerful, because we don't have the ability to manipulate any of the data and how it's presented, and which means that we cannot help or hurt a business in any way by adding, deleting, changing any of the reviews. It's true, authentic social learning. And that immutability that we enjoy from all blockchain platforms is something that was badly needed in the space, because obviously, as you've heard, there's been a lot of allegations about people being manipulated and extorted over reviews and things like that. And so I think that is something that gives our vendors a lot of comfort and relief that we're not holding anything over them. And I think that's a really big point in terms of, why we put this on blockchain. It's decentralized. We're not going to manipulate anyone. And so I think that's something that I think people, maybe the general public, doesn't understand, but certainly a lot of vendors, I think thousands have filed complaints that kind of reference something like that happening. So when we go to vendors, they are very welcoming, and we're excited about what the future holds.
I can see why. This is really, really great, and I can't wait to help spread the word up here in Canada. So,
thank you.
Yeah, it'll be very exciting. And also, let's talk about we talked about the passive incomes, but the master nodes and the nodes. I saw this on Twitter the other day, and I was just so excited to see this. So, you have this just started? Is that correct?
So the way our system, we run what's called a delegated proof of stake type of blockchain, which is similar to what Steemit or BitShares or EOS runs. So the way that operates is that, we have what's called Validator Notes. They're basically computer servers that we initially provided in the very beginning, because, we had to set everything up. So in the very beginning, this was more centralized, and gradually it's becoming more and more decentralized as our users are taking over the node responsibilities. So initially, to set all this up, it was kind of complex and a little bit more technical. So really only our technical users were doing it. But I wanted to make this a lot easier for anyone who's involved on the network. I mean, we want this to truly be a decentralized, atmosphere. So anyone should be able to partake and, set up a node themselves and start earning, passively and contributing to the network. And that's the whole thing about blockchain. Everyone who contributes to the blockchain network or has some sort of responsibility is compensated for that responsibility. So for instance, the authors of reviews are compensated, the curators of reviews are compensated, and then we have the block producers, the people who are actually running the network, they're compensated as well. So initially, like I said, that was a very complex technical task to set up, but I've automated the entire process. So we've made it pretty much now where you just run a simple script. You type in your username on the Bravo app, and then you just enable your witness mode within the app itself, and boom, you're all of a sudden producing blocks and earning Bravo passively. And, I set it up a couple of days ago, and I really didn't publicize this till about yesterday. And just in the past 24 hours, we've had 5 new witness nodes sign online, and start producing blocks, and they're now earning Bravo passively. So the way the way that it's set up, our ratio is we have 70% of the rewards go to authors for reviews, 20% go to the curator. So those are kind of like, active duties where you're actively writing reviews, you're actively curating. And then we have this passive side where you're kind of running a witness node or a master node, and that gets the remaining 10% of the block rewards. And the way that that works is that as we have more users signing up and coming online, since the responsibilities for a node increases in terms of resources necessary, the amount that they actually get compensated for in BravoCoin goes up as well. So right now, our witness nodes are earning about 650 to 700 Bravo per month for those responsibilities. And that's actually been going up it's actually up about 33% in the past month, because it's directly tied to the amount of users that are signing onto the blockchain. So right now we're in this sort of incline mode with the amount of users and the trajectory that we have, where everyone's getting compensated, the block producers are being compensated, the witness nodes are being compensated, till we get to a point where we actually start peaking with the amount of users that we have, and then those rewards are going to start halving, almost like the Bitcoin halving rewards. So that's the kind of setup that we have right now. And what I wanted to do is I just wanted to make it super easy. We call it our simple witness node setup, just so that anyone can start running these nodes, and get involved and start earning Bravo passively and help us secure the network.
Love it. So if I were to start a node on my laptop, do I have to run my laptop?
So you could run it out of your house. We don't recommend that. I set up a how-to website. We recommend you utilize one of the major, they call them VPS or virtual private server providers, like Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, there's DigitalOcean. There's a number of these providers that offer these specific types of servers from anywhere from about 10 to 20 bucks a month. So a user would have to go ahead and purchase one of those servers and then just simply download and run our script, follow the on-screen instructions to enter in the Bravo name, and then it kind of just goes through and configures everything for you and sets it up.
Okay, nice.
It's like 6 clicks.
Yep. It's literally very, very easy. We've had actually a number of users already come back and say, I wish other crypto projects could make it this easy to set up a node.
Right. Well, you're leading in it, so whether or not the others will, you're leading in this. So that's kudos. Nice.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, we want everyone to be involved. We want this to be, as decentralized as possible. And, I encourage users to start taking over these node responsibilities, because the more users that we have, the more users signing up and, setting up these nodes, the more decentralized we are.
Right. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
As you can tell, our biggest ethos is really to keep things really simple as possible. And so we apply that across the board. And one of the things too that I think that isn't incredibly obvious yet, because we are just in the beginning stages of launching this part, we have a couple of vendor tools that are real vendor tools. We call our platform now an engagement platform. So engagement for users really entails the entire kind of crypto reward and incentive aspects of it. But from a vendor perspective, we also have we have a whole mobile marketing suite of products that we offer vendors. And so, a couple of dynamics are coming into play that I think have made that part really exciting for vendors. So, it's always been known that retaining your customers is much cheaper than getting a new customer, right? That's been a common fact. But now what's happening is businesses are having a harder time marketing to new customers, marketing to get new customers, because everyone is streaming their music, everyone has a DVR, now people are just streaming entirely. Nobody reads a newspaper, magazines are passé, and so it's really, really hard to get your brand in front of people. And so what we've done is we've built in some products for the vendors. There's a couple of different packages, just very typical SaaS model. For vendors to be able to utilize our platform to engage their customers and reward them in cryptocurrency for referring their business and for doing certain things. We've added some gamification via, that hardware device that we talked about, that we showed you. They could reward people for coming in. So it's akin to a loyalty program, I'd say, on speeds. Again, building on the legacy platforms that were built before us and then taking that to that next level. Using what was great, eliminating what didn't work. And so that's been really, really exciting for us. And the gamification piece, I think Adam told you a little bit about that. But for vendors to be able to really target their customers in a hyper direct way, we're capturing a lot of what we call experiential data. So to give you an example, I'll go to a taco shop and I happen to like, you know, carne asada tacos, and I give that a 4-star. And Adam goes in and, you know, he tries their chicken tacos and he gives that a, you know, 3.5-star or whatever. That vendor 2 weeks from now, let's just say, wants to take advantage of a sale on carne asada and says, hey, I want to have a blowout special on Wednesday. I want to send out a message to anyone who gave me a 4-star or better on carne asada tacos and within a 5-mile radius in the last 2 weeks. Well, we're capturing a lot of that data. Again, people have to opt in for this, right? We respect privacy and all the applicable laws. But anyway, but now that vendor has a dashboard where they could pull all this data and they could send out that message. Now, when I receive that message and I say, hey, you know, 20% off on carne asada tacos, I'm excited because that's something I like. So I welcome that. I'm not going to get the text message on chicken tacos because I didn't order that. I didn't like that. Adam will. And so, you know, that hyper local, pushing that hyper local marketing effort is incredibly difficult for businesses, incredibly expensive. And so we view ourselves again as an engagement platform. And the other tool we built into that, not just for the business to be able to construct those messages, but also we've kind of turned our customer base into a quasi Salesforce, because now we built in a referral system so that when I refer you, my friend, to go try out these great steak tacos that I've had, when you come in and you write a review, I earn cryptocurrency and so do you. So now essentially business can turn their customers into a little, you know, a workforce, right? In an informal workforce. So again, pushing that engagement, using the incentivized properties that blockchain allows us. We've really looked at, both Adam and I come from a small business background. So we really looked at what else can we do together so that everybody wins on the platform, right? And we're all helping one another. And so those are some exciting things that you haven't really seen yet. We've got a couple of businesses here that are really excited about it. Adam just loaded up a bunch of our little devices, and we're going to see that probably the first couple weeks of the year. So we're excited about what's on the horizon.
And just to expand on that, you know, this engagement that occurs with these proof of location devices, it doesn't necessarily just need to be crypto. So for instance, I can go to a coffee shop and I can check into the coffee shop and I may be rewarded with crypto, but because we proved my location, we can actually offer other incentives as well. So say I check into this coffee shop and they want to give me 10% off or 15% off a cold brew, they can do that as well. And they can drop me coupons or whatever they want as soon as I hit, you know, within proximity of this hardware device. So it's very, very powerful to offer, you know, these incentive-based rewards to encourage recurring visits for your customers.
Very exciting, and keeping it so decentralized. I love it. I love it. I really, really do. There's a lot going on. So this is part of your roadmap then. Yeah, you're busy, I can tell.
Yeah, so we actually have the entire marketing platform and analytics platform already deployed, actually. So businesses, as soon as they sign up now, they can actually claim their profile and they can log in and they can see the amount of hits that they've had to their profile, the amount of check-ins that they've had to their location, the amount of, you know, we even have a mobile ordering that works as well within the app. So all these data points are actually all fully available through our analytics and through our dashboard capabilities. And then like Lorena was saying, we have the ability to, you know, harness this data and then further, you know, attract and market to customers that choose to utilizing these data points.
Great. Wow, that's very valuable information. That's for the client, for the business owner. Yeah, very good.
And one of the things I want to point out, piggybacking off of what Adam said, you know, we're very user-centric. So unlike a lot of other platforms, you know, they are only focusing on, you know, who their tier 1 customer is. We don't take that perspective. We kind of reverse engineer the value stream. So we start with, what would I like as a consumer, and we back that into what we build. And that really helps us kind of see things from a different perspective. So one of the things that in the beginning we kind of looked at, you know, how we're going to set the platform up. You know, every vendor that we can find that we know of that exists, we load up for free. So everybody gets a free listing. So for example, if you're in Venice and you want to find a pizza place, or you're in New England or Florida, whatever, we want you to be able to open up the app and find as many options as possible, because that services you. And so everybody has a free listing. And then if they want all these other ancillary products, then that's where the SaaS model comes in. We've got 2 packages. We keep it very, very simple. And so I say that because I don't want anyone to think that, you know, they're going to get on the site and find just a few vendors. I think you'll be really surprised. We've got over 3 million restaurants on the platform all over the world right now, and hundreds of thousands of hotels and things like that. We've got some other exciting things going on in that space too, from a transaction standpoint. Again, that's, you know, I don't want to overspeak just yet, but, you know, we're always looking to see how we can provide more value for the user. So while they're there, what else can we add? And one of the things that I'll share for your podcast that we haven't shared with anybody is we're building the reservation feature. So you'll be able to look at a restaurant and reserve that right on the site. So you'll stay on the site. So again, making it really, really easy. Yeah. So that's something that's in the works, and that'll come out in the next couple of builds.
And one of the things I wanted to mention is that we have a lot of upgrades within our platform, and they're all done utilizing the BravoCoin. So we have certain types of sponsored ads, other types of upgrades where, and even putting, you know, BravoCoin on the actual proof of location device, so that when you check in a location, you're rewarded with crypto. All of this is done with Bravo. So it encourages the businesses and the business owners to interact and interface and accept Bravo, because then they can take those coins that whether they've accepted them for, you know, a small coffee item, or, you know, whether they're giving them away for check-ins. There's an incentive now for a business to interact and work with the Bravo coin, because they realize that they can use it for digital marketing services and you know, and other enhancements on our platform.
Wow, you guys are on fire, really.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. I am so excited, and definitely going to keep using it and promoting it. So
Awesome.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank
yeah.
you.
And before I forget, I think the one thing that we probably negated to really highlight, and I can't echo this loud enough, we did not ICO. We did not ICO.
Right.
We did not ICO. We had absolutely no private placement. It's literally been Adam and I. And so I think that, you know, there's that adage of put your money where your mouth is. Well, we absolutely have for the last several years. And so it's a privilege to be able to share this with users. But it's important, because that's why you see that we're so passionate about what we're doing, right? We're 1,000% committed. This is what Adam and I are doing full time. And so when we hear users talk about how great it is, and when your great compliments, we so appreciate that. It really validates the work that we put in, and the checks that we've written and continue to write every single month. You know, we have 5 developers on our team. And so, you know, we're fully committed, and any help that any help is kindly appreciated. We want people to spread the word, tell people about the platform and how easy it is, and tell them about us and the fact that, you know, we stand out, I think, because, you know, we have a built platform. It works. It's beautiful. It's easy to use. And you know, we're on 3 exchanges right now. So we have a nice exit ramp for people. We've had a couple of big exchanges approach us because
can you mention those exchanges?
We're traded on SystemCoin, Alt-Illy, and Northern Exchange right now.
Okay, thank you.
So smaller exchanges, and I don't know if everybody knows about them because they're a little smaller, but we've had some big guys. We've drawn some attention. If you look at our chart, I don't know if Adam, if you could pull it up, our chart in the last couple of weeks has gone like parabolic. It's we've
had good growth since WCC. That kind of kickstarted us into the next year. So we actually had our proof of location devices at WCC. We had one at our booth. We had one at registration. We even had some influencers running around. I created wearables for them, actually. So we had users all throughout WCC checking in, earning crypto for different locations. Vesta's art exhibit had one. So it was kind of fun. It was like a crypto scavenger hunt that was going on. And people really started to, you know, like it and figure out it and see our technology, you know, in action, and look at and see the proof of location, you know, hardware actually working, which was kind of cool.
Exactly. It's
we've had an incredible, I think we've had at this point probably 380% growth or something like that since consensus.
We've had about 400% growth just since consensus in May.
Wow.
So we've definitely been growing at a pretty rapid clip. I mean, just since WCC, we're up at about 35% of our users now since WCC. So we've had a decent clip joining just since WCC. So yeah, I think we're really on like the cusp here of really starting to explode.
For people who don't know, that's only 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was the beginning of November. So yeah, in the past 6 weeks, we've grown almost 40%. So it's
Yeah.
been pretty significant, especially since we're going into like the holiday period right now. So I kind of feel like we're in like a little bit of a lull. But yeah, we've had fantastic growth. We've had, tons of users coming up to us and saying how much they love our platform, and then referring, their friends, and even, people who they know aren't into crypto, but they know that they can understand this type of technology and this type of platform because it's so similar to what they're used to, that we have a lot of users saying, hey, I would have never introduced my high school friend to crypto or to any of these projects, but I know that your application is so easy to use that I just said, hey, try this out and let me know what you think. And we're starting to get more and more of these stories come about where, novice users, novice users who have never been exposed to crypto are now being exposed because they have an easy way to achieve it and an easy way to obtain it.
It's almost zero risk, right? So when you refer someone, you're like, what do you have to lose? It's really not much, right? And then once they get on, they see how easy it flows.
And then you have an incentive actually for signing people up. Every person you sign up that completes a review, you get 10 BravoCoin yourself. So they get 10 BravoCoin for signing on, you get 10 BravoCoin, for getting them to sign up. So, there's incentives all around. The objective of this platform is to make it so that everyone involved is somehow compensated for some sort of duty involved. So, whether you're referring people, whether you're curating, like I said, we have some users who don't like writing reviews. They don't like reading reviews, but they want to run witness notes and they want to earn Bravo, in that manner. So, there's a role or responsibility pretty much for everyone out there. And, we're going to compensate you in Bravo somehow for it.
Yeah. I like
and
it.
we have some users that have written, I think we have one user that's written over 400 reviews. I mean, we have some people that are just, that's their thing.
I think we're up to actually a little more than that. I think that, I'll tell you right now, I think our top user has about 800 reviews.
I mean, that's incredible, right?
Yeah, it is.
And we have users that have earned tens of thousands of Bravo right now. So a lot of dynamic things are happening on the platform. So again, very rewarding for us, but hey, we need more users, we need more marketing, we need more referrals. So we so appreciate the push and the time that you took and the platform that you've given us to tell you a little bit about BravoCoin and leverage your user base. So really,
it's a pleasure. Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure, and to help promote great projects like yours and a team like yourself. It is truly an honor to be where we are in this space at this time in our lives and to be able to even do this. So absolutely. And we have to. I think this is what's bringing this space, what it encompasses for all of us is bringing us together and helping each other. And it's about co-creating. So I'm a big believer in that, really.
No, and I appreciate that you're elevating good projects because, we all know that there's been projects that have not come to fruition as promised, whether or not that was, done purposely or not. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So who knows? Some had good intentions and some haven't. And unfortunately, that makes it harder for us, right? Because we have to combat that skepticism that's been introduced or that's naturally there anyway. And so to find people that are lauding good projects and help us kind of cut through all of that and are exalting us is really important for us. It's to get people who are thought leaders like yourself, subject matter experts like yourself, to get your nod and access to your user base is really important for us. And again, I'm really appreciative because there are a lot of bad projects out there and a few good ones, I'd say. And I think we're one of the good ones. So hopefully more people will find us. Thank you.
I hope so too, and I think they will. Well, thank you so much both for being here with me today and having this opportunity for us to have this discussion. I know it's your first interview, I believe, isn't it, Lorena?
Yeah, Adam, I don't do interviews. I don't. We decided really early on that was going to be the case, and but I just love what you're doing and how you're curating your content and where you're going. And of course, being a woman, I love to help and support other women on their journey. And so anything that I can do in that space always is very exciting for me. And again, you're really elevating the space, really bringing up the level of conversation. So yeah, I won't be doing too many. I say that so I don't get bombarded with calls.
Right.
But Adam is the front facing person, but I'm happy obviously to answer any questions and of course do a subsequent interview with you once we bring on some of these new features. I think that maybe will be a feature for you, and I'd like to extend the same thing to you, by the way. I think there are a couple things that we want to do that we could put you on our platform too, because I think there's a lot of room for that too. So for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. That's very exciting, and looking forward to that for sure, Lorena.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
thank you both. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, we'll do it again, hopefully. Looking forward to, all the things coming up. And thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Amina.
We'd love to come
Okay.
back on and show you some
Yeah.
more things, and maybe even show you the marketing and the analytics back
I'd
end that
love
these
that.
businesses get access to. I think that'd be kind of cool. You may have some viewers that have some of their own small businesses, and they may be interested in checking out something. What we have to offer.
Exactly.
Yeah, if any of your viewers have businesses and they get on Bravo and they're not listed, it's really easy. It should be very, very simple. We've made some links here, so it should download very, very easily. But if that's not the case, feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to add, any business.
Okay, fantastic. And I will add whatever links you want me to this video too. So we'll definitely do that.
Well,
awesome. You should add your own sign up link.
For sure.
And then actually maybe we can make a sort of like a special sign up, or you know what, we may even do a blast code here specifically for your viewers. So maybe we'll release a specific blast code so that your users can get on some free.
I love blast code. Okay.
So, that's something else. We'll have to talk about that the next time too. We can show blast code in action.
Okay, for sure. That's a good one. Okay, sounds great. I love it. I love how we're creating as we're leaving here.
Yeah.
Okay, guys,
Right, awesome.
Take care.
Thanks, Amina.
Bye.
Have a great week. Thank you.
You too.
Bye.